Hello and welcome to part 3 of Dev Maths and Stats Refresher Course, Lecture 6. Now we're looking at what-if analysis, and that's an area where Excel can be more convenient than other programs. So to see this, we're going to put some text in. So in cells T3 to U7 as shown on the right. So make sure you can do that and create a new variable after you've done that. So T3 to U7. If you put it in exactly those places, then what you get will be the same as on the film, but it's not as important. So we want prices, molds, concrete fitting, prices, molds, concrete fitting filters. So capital letters, and then price in US dollars, 85 to 30. Oops. US pounds. So these are the prices that were being charged to people for buying the moulds. I think they were provided with one free and then they had to buy extra ones. Concrete fittings and filters. Molds, concrete fitting filters. Okay. So what you want to do is now work out how much profit. Okay, we have to assume they're charging for all of them. So how much profit do they make in between sales and sick before? So between sales and sick before, so in here, I'm going to add in a row called profits, or a column called profit, a new variable, a new field. So you've got to think to yourself, how would you work out how much profit they've made from if they're selling this many filters at $80 and they're buying their inputs, which are concrete fitting and filters along here. So you need a set of fitting and a set of filters for each. Sorry, this is wrong. The filter is what they sell, and they need this and this and this for each filter. So you've got to try and enter in here a calculation that gives you the amount of profit that this first group of households have got, given that they sold. Actually, I'm being completely misleading again. They sold 6. You can use the exact figures. They sold 6 filters, and along here is how many molds they use, how many concrete bags, and how many fittings. So you use these figures. So these are their costs. The revenue is this, or the revenue is this times the price. Use these prices. Can you figure out how to get a formula in here that gives the profit? And it should come to $80 if you get it right. So pause the video, see if you can do that. And then I shall start to type it in. So first I'll start with the revenue, which is equals the filters times the number of filters they sold. So that's the money they made. And I can subtract. You've got to subtract the costs. So I think to keep it neat, I might put a bracket like that. And so I'm going to have to subtract what they spent on molds, which is this, times the price of molds, which is that, minus the number of bags of concrete times the price of concrete. These sharp-eyed people will say I've got the signs wrong here. Minus this times the price of fittings. That's not going to be right, is it? I need to have, these should be pluses. So I'm adding up the costs. Yeah. So hopefully this is correct. So if this is the total cost here, so number of moles times the price of moles, mass of concrete times the price of concrete, amount of fitting, number of fittings times the price of fittings here. So that should be the cost. That's the revenue. So we should get profit. And okay. So it doesn't seem to have come to what it's supposed to come, which is supposed to be 80. So where have we gone wrong? Must be something in the formula. Oops. Something in the formula. Oh, I see. I've credited them another sale of the filter. It's 30 out. So notice that here I wanted to use this cell. It should be 02 instead of N2. So instead of just correcting this, you can just drag this to the correct place. So it should be there because that's the number they sold. Because only one of the filters they kept for their own use, we assume. So let's try that. That's better. So it's 80. Okay, so I hope that you managed to get a formula here with something like 80 in it. Please do feel free to ask either during the live session or get in touch with me if you want me to go through any of this with you. Let's have a look at the next part. So yes, 80, that's good. Now we're going to do the copying thing. So try to copy it down the rest of the row because we want to know the profit for everybody else. But you should find, if you've done exactly what I did, that this gives you some really odd results. So it looks like they've made zero profit with these people, and these people made a colossal loss. So what's going wrong? So can you see why this is wrong if you look at the formulas carefully? If you do, you see that that formula looks right, but if you go down a bit, this formula looks wrong. This formula looks wrong. And it's because as you copy down, Excel is adjusting all the numbers as you copy down and increasing the numbers, which for some things is good for this cell and for these. You want that to happen, that's good. But it's very bad for the references to these cells here, because you can see as you move down, it's looking for the price here, but the price should stay here. So there's a way of making Excel not change the formula when you copy it, and that's called absolute referencing. And it's handy to know about that in Excel, because sometimes you want to do that. So what you do, if you want to fix something, you put in a $ sign, and that fixes it. So what I'll do, I'll go back to here, where I first copied it in, and the ones that I want to be fixed, which is the ones in column V, I'll just put in, type a $ in like that, and a $ in like that. Another way of doing it is to, when you do the formula, if you press F4, then you press that, function 4, that cycles through. So if you have V5, if you press it once, it goes to V, I think it goes to that first, and then it goes to, first it goes to both dollars. First it goes to this with $2, then it goes to like this, and then it goes around to, and then it goes back to just V5. So V5, dollar hit, both dollars, $1, $1. I'll show you what I mean on this. So you can see, I'm going to press V5 a few times, F4 a few times. And you can see it cycles like that. Yeah, it's that order. So you can decide where you want the dollars. So I just want dollars in front of the 5, and here again. Oops, what's happened? What should that be pointing at? That S2 should be C2. It should be the price of these things here, so put that back in. So that looks better. Still says 80. And now, once you've done that, when you copy it, you get more sensible numbers, and you can see even down here, it's referring to the correct prices and the correct cells here. So the correct ones are changing, the ones you want to change are changing, the ones you want to remain fixed are remaining fixed here. So I'll just copy this down the rest of the way, all the way to the bottom. And now we get a better picture. And now you can see that there are really quite a few households that make a big loss on this. And not that many that make a big profit. A few groups of households make a big profit, but not that many. Okay, so once you've got it working properly, then you can do what-if analysis. Just by changing the prices, you can see what happens. So, how many more household groups would make a profit if the price of the moulds fell to $50? So you can see here, the price of the moulds is quite a big barrier. So if that was to fall down to 50, then you can see many more households are making a profit. And if you wanted to count them, one thing you could do would be to use the tip you had before and to arrange these, use the data thing and arrange them into increasing order. So you can see with that $80, there's quite a lot make a loss. How many households make a loss? All the way down to, gosh, a lot of households make a loss. No wonder they didn't want to do it. Right the way down to household number, whatever that one is, down to 56. 56 households make a loss. But if you put the price down to 50, then how many households make a loss now? Only a couple less, 54. Only a couple more households go into profit. But the size of the losses is less. Okay, if you set the moles at 50, okay. How would you do that? If you set the price of moles to 50, then what's the smallest price of filters that would mean that all the households who sold at least one filter made a profit? Can you see how to do that? So think about that, and I'll show you how you can do it on the spreadsheet. So the way you might do this is going back to the spreadsheet. Let's first put it back into the original order because it could be getting quite confusing. Might set it to pick out all the households that sold at least one filter to start with. So let's arrange it in decreasing numbers of filters. So actually, was it sold or made? Sold at least one filter. Okay, so we want to put the sales into decreasing order. So all the households that sold at least one is down to there, and you want to make sure that all of those make a profit. Okay. Oops. So just do this by increasing the price of this is the sell price of the filter. So if you put the sales price of the filter up to 40, would that work? It sold. There's still a few here that are making a loss with 40. The ones that only sold one filter are still making a loss. So I have to increase it a bit. $45 sales price. Still making quite a big loss from these people. So they're making a really substantial loss. It's going to have to go up a long way. They're going to have to go another £60. So the answer is it have to go up quite a long way, I think. Oops, not that much. Let's give 100. Just a couple are still here making a loss. It's going to have to go up by another 18, so 118, 119 is supposed to be purest. Gosh, that would have to go up a long way. and then some people will be making a huge amount of profit. So you can see it's just not viable. So that tells you that you're not going to make it viable because you'd have to charge such a huge amount of money. You have to pay $119 for a filter, and you probably find you wouldn't actually be able to sell that in that market. So this what-if analysis I told you, it's not really practical to make sure that you have to set it at a lower level. Okay, so maybe we'll reset that. Which is back to 80 and 30. Okay, so that's long enough for this video. So the next video we start looking at some charts with scatter charts. So thanks for watching.